Well, it is Sunday, and in a couple weeks, that'll be pretty good news for all of us because we will have some NFL football to be watching during the whole day on Sunday. Hold on one second. My back is absolutely cramping up on me. Holy smokes. Okay. This is usually part 2 of our podcast, but obviously we didn't do a show yesterday. I'm telling you, man, let me see. I was at work for quite a good bit yesterday, and I was done at 2 o'clock. And when I got home, I was so tired from the day before. I got no sleep going into work yesterday. I had to be there before 7 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted. I was so tired. I came home yesterday. I fell asleep on the couch for a few hours. And by the time I woke up, it was like 8 o'clock at night. And it was at a point, all right, I can't record, I can't upload here tonight. So, and also I was starting to feel kind of sick. I don't know why. But my allergies are again acting up again. Nothing new on that. But so this is going to be, this is obviously the first part of the weekend for the In Hindsight podcast. Thank you all for tuning back in to the show today. We got to, we're going to go over a little bit of things. I don't expect this show to be as long as what we've kind of had last week and things like that. So I don't really expect this to be too long of an episode here. But nonetheless, I always appreciate it. You guys just always taking the time, just to tune in, for a little bit, however long, and everything like that. I can always never say it enough. So, but on this show, as you can see by the thumbnail, we're going to start off with a little bit of Deshaun Watson talk. He's kind of been in the news the last few days, and I got to give a shout out to Cade, who has been, or I guess was, a coworker of mine. So shout out to my man Cade on, the idea of just kind of having a breakdown on Deshaun Watson and his trade talk. So, Cade, I'll see you in the draft tonight. Best of luck on the draft. And if you were in work today, hopefully you got some good tips. but yeah, shout out to him on the the main topic today. So that's kind of what we're going to be breaking down here to start. I was going to say something else too. I can't even remember. Also, this is going to be, before we jump into things here, next week will be the last week of the normal schedule of the podcast. I usually say this before the show's end, before the show's over, and everything like that, but I'm going to say it since I'm kind of on the topic of it. Next week, it'll still be things as normal, Saturday, Sunday. For some reason, if, we might do some extra content, maybe during the week this week, really depending. Tomorrow is going to be, we're just going to be talking, Steelers and things like that. We'll go over their preseason game. We'll go over some cuts, maybe some things we can expect them to do before the season starts. All that kind of stuff. We'll go over that tomorrow, because that was going to be yesterday's. Excuse me one second. That was going to be yesterday's show, but obviously that didn't happen, so we'll move that tomorrow. But next week will be the last week of the normal schedule. And then, as I said, that Friday after the first NFL game, that Thursday night, Tampa and Dallas, that's the new podcast schedule, folks. Friday, it's going to be all things. We're talking all things from NFL, college, football, and basketball, NBA, MLB, hockey, you name it. Everything going on. We'll be breaking down everything. You know how it is here. That's what we'll be doing Friday. Saturday is going to obviously be, we're going to be talking about our Pittsburgh teams, as you can obviously see in the background of every show. We'll be doing that Saturday, Sunday, nothing. And then Monday, Tuesday will obviously be the recap of the weekend of football. Tuesday will be the recap of the Steelers and things of that kind of nature. So just keep an eye out for that. But that's how that schedule is going to be after next weekend. But anyway, Deshaun Watson. So we all know what's been going on with Deshaun Watson, man. We all know the situation. It's at the point right now where I guess the question is Deshaun Watson really worth trading for right now? He hasn't played in the preseason or anything like that. he's been at camp and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts out on the commissioner's list. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I'm just saying that's my idea of if he doesn't play, he'll probably start on the commissioner's list until things really kind of get settled and figured out and all that. So, but right now, as we stand, I'm not saying once things calm down and if Deshaun Watson gets back to playing and things like that, that it wouldn't be worth making a trade. But as we sit right now, let me ask you this. Looking right in the camera here. Is Deshaun Watson worth trading for right now? We might have different answers. To be quite frank with you, my answer is no. Deshaun Watson, it's just a different situation. And the thing is, I don't think any of us know if he's going to play week 1, number 1. None of us know how this is going to pan out, number 2. So there was a report, not just from one person, it was really from pretty reliable sources over the last few days that talks have picked up about Miami getting involved in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes again. And Miami would want 3 first-round picks, a couple second-round picks. Now, for a guy of Deshaun Watson's caliber, if none of this was going on, Deshaun Watson would have been dealt already. Deshaun Watson probably would be on Miami or Denver or Philadelphia, wherever the hell, you know what I mean, he would end up. Who knows? The Jets, I don't know. Deshaun Watson would have been traded months ago, you know, if none of this was happening. But I just feel like there's just so much uncertainty with the situation where I just feel like, especially teams like Philadelphia, who has also kind of kicked their name in it. I also saw again from Cade sent me something earlier that Philadelphia kind of wasn't really feeling the Deshaun, wasn't really getting back into it, into the Watson situation. So I just feel like, for teams like that who are still building. Now, Miami's not in a rebuilding situation. They're continuing to grow their team. They have a lot of good young talent. They won 10 games last year. They're still in the process, right? They're still in the process of getting to the next level. They got quite a good bit of picks. You know what I mean? They've stocked up on draft capital over the last couple years. So, for teams like that, and even Denver, I guess my reasoning as to why I think it's not worth it going out for Deshaun Watson right now. I feel like for teams like that, and I'm saying realistically, this is realistically, the team's interested. I'm not freaking saying, some of these other teams that are win now teams and they would trade for him to upgrade at their quarterback. Realistically, the teams that we know have been interested, the teams that have put their name into the hat, I feel like at this point, again, my opinion, you might disagree, that's fine. At this point in time, it's not worth it simply because I feel like these teams are just going to be giving up too much of their future for someone that's uncertain right now. Because what happens if you trade for him, he doesn't play this year, none of this gets resolved right now. What happens if this stuff continues to leak on into next year? And what happens if Deshaun Watson just doesn't even end up playing either? Who knows? Who knows if what if his career's over? You can't get any of that back. So, if you wait, okay, if you're a team like Miami, who's probably been the most interested out of any team, if you're a team like Miami, why don't you wait? You can see what you can get out of Tua this year. He's had a nice preseason, all things considered, I guess. The potential's there with him. It's not that he doesn't have any potential to be a successful quarterback. But why don't you wait? What's the hurry? What's the rush? The teams that were interested in Watson earlier this year, those teams have single-handedly slowed down. Now we only see a Miami, maybe a Philadelphia. I don't know what the rush is. Why don't you wait? If you're Miami, why don't you wait? See what you get out of Tua. See how this year goes. See how things with Deshaun Watson goes. And if things come next year, settle down, and he's back to playing and things like that, then there you go. then all right, make a move for him. I don't know what the rush is to get him. I just feel like for teams like that have that they've put a lot of time and resources into building their future, I feel like trading for someone where there's so much uncertainty of what's going on with him right now, I feel like is too much of a risk. Now, that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys might be on the other end thinking, well, it's Deshaun Watson, I think you got to take a chance, or, maybe you think that there's a good chance that he is going to play and things are going to dwindle down for him, things like that. I really don't know. But as an outsider looking in, nothing's changed with this scenario, this saga. He's not playing. I don't think he's going to play week 1. I haven't seen anything that he is going to play week 1. I think he'll be on the commissioner's list. Like I said, he's been at practice and camp and all that stuff. But he hasn't played, Sorry, my back is like killing me right now. I don't know why. It's probably from freaking carrying all those golf bags. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know why it's freaking messing up with me right now. So if you see me do this, you know why. It's killing me right now. I don't know why. But Deshaun Watson, just from my view as an outsider looking into the situation, these teams have just put too much into their future. I just don't think it's worth jeopardizing that, and I don't think it's worth selling that for a guy who might not play this year. Maybe what if he does start the year this year, and then more things continue to progress and get heated, and he's put on the commissioner's list. You see what I'm saying? And these teams that are trading for him, or aren't not trading for him, but these teams that are interested, Miami has Tua. Okay, he was a first-year rookie last year. The Eagles have Jalen Hurts. He was a first-year guy last year. He played 4 games. The Jets just drafted Zach Wilson. Denver's a freaking disaster at quarterback, but other than that, these are teams, again, point blank. They've been building for, they haven't been in a situation of competition, of competing. Now, Miami won 10 last year, I understand that, but Miami's still in that process, though, of, really building that team. So I don't see what the rush is. Why not wait, see what you have out of these guys? Watson's probably still going to be there at this point next year if things are, if things are all go and he's back to playing. I don't see what the rush is. That's just me. So I personally don't think there's going to be a trade for him before the season starts. I really don't. I think he starts this year on the commissioner's list. Does he play this year? Who knows? I don't think anybody really has the answers if he's going to play this year or how much he's going to play this year, simply because we don't have all the answers in regards of what's going on with this situation. There hasn't really been any updates much on the situation. There hasn't really been any news on it from now compared to how it was 3 months ago, back in June or May, whenever this stuff happened. I can't even remember. But point blank, I don't think it's worth it for these teams right now. It's not that Deshaun Watson's not worth those things. It's not that. Deshaun Watson is a franchise caliber kind of quarterback. He's been that since he's been in the league. But for selling your future for a lot of uncertainty right now, it's not worth that risk. Excuse me. You can get a glass of water. All right. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments section, folks, what you guys think about Deshaun Watson. Let me know in the comments section. Do you think he's going to play this year? You think he's going to be on the commissioner's list? Do you think it's worth trading for him? If you were a team like that, like the Dolphins or Philadelphia, would you make a move for him? Would you trade 3 first-round picks, a couple second-round picks for him right now? Let me know in the comments section. I'm interested to see. I think we'll maybe get more of an answer. Well, I mean, we will. We will get more of an answer this week if this guy's starting or not. If he doesn't, it's Tyrod Taylor's job. I feel like Tyrod Taylor has been all over the place. I feel like he's always, wherever he signs, he's always getting that opportunity to start. We saw that with Baltimore. We saw it with Buffalo. Saw it with Cleveland. Saw it with the Chargers week 1 last year. He got hurt, and now he's going to have that opportunity in Houston. So there you go. Speaking of a team, though, that has been on the Deshaun Watson train Not really recently, but they kind of had their name in there a little bit earlier on, a few months ago, the Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos named Teddy Bridgewater their starter. To be honest with you, I am a little surprised by this. Teddy Bridgewater is definitely better than Drew Lock, in my opinion. But I thought that they were going to give Drew Lock another opportunity. He did have that one good game in preseason, but Bridgewater just played better. I mentioned this last week on the show. Denver, on paper, Denver has a nice team. They have a nice group of receivers. Cortland Sutton's back. Jerry Jeudy, he had some rookie hiccups last year, but he has a lot of talent, and he's definitely a guy that can have a breakout season. KJ Hamler, Noah Fant, as long as he's healthy, I think is a high-caliber tight end in this league. They've gotten better with their offensive line over the last few years. On the other side of the ball, their defense on paper looks really good. The secondary stands out more than anything. And Denver's actually looking to trade, maybe make a trade or two, because they just have such a big cornerback secondary room that they have so much depth there. They might make a move or two to unload a couple guys and get some, probably draft capital out of it. But here's the thing with them. I've seen a few people say that they think Denver's going to be a sleeper team. They think Denver will make the playoffs. I don't see that. I don't. I think, quite frankly, I don't see it because of the quarterback position. I think Denver can be around a 500 team. I think they have, on paper now, so you take it with a grain of salt until we see it on the field, but on paper, they have a promising defense this season. But as I was saying at quarterback, yes, Teddy Bridgewater is better than Drew Lock. Teddy Bridgewater, I really enjoyed him on the Vikings. I enjoyed him in Louisville. But he's just kind of been a journeyman. He wasn't impressive at all with Carolina. With New Orleans being the backup to Drew Brees for a couple years, he did good things, especially when Brees got hurt last year for a little bit. He stepped in. I believe he went, 4-0 or something like that? Or not last year, the year before. I mean. So, but the thing with Teddy Bridgewater is, Teddy Bridgewater, he's not going to be a guy that's going to elevate Denver to the next level. I mean, how much better of a team does Denver get from Drew Lock to Teddy Bridgewater? I think that's the question. Ask yourself that. When you look at this Denver Broncos team and you have Drew Lock under center, okay, we see what they are. Under 500 team. Not successful. Offense isn't productive. Now, yes, they added some pieces this year compared to last year. But now let's take Teddy Bridgewater under there. How much of a difference is it? How many more games are they going to win with Teddy Bridgewater? Yes, Teddy Bridgewater's better. I think Teddy Bridgewater has a better IQ. I think he makes better decisions. I think he's a smarter quarterback. But I don't really think that Teddy Bridgewater really raises the game. I don't really think that he takes Denver to a higher level at all. I think Teddy Bridgewater at the highest, they're around a 500 team, 7 or 8 win team probably. I mean, you can't go 500 this year because there's 17 games, but I think they're probably 7-8 win team with him. With Drew Lock, I think they're worse than that. It's just, that's the thing. I like what they have defensively. I like what they did. I like what they've added. They have some nice skill position players. I'm not big on the running game. But yes, if I'm a Broncos fan, I'd rather have Teddy Bridgewater in there. I think that there's a little bit more promise there. I'd be more excited with him than Locke. But still, I just don't think Bridgewater really elevates the team all that much. Maybe he wins an extra game or two than Drew Lock. But Teddy Bridgewater isn't a make-or-break guy. Teddy Bridgewater, what would you say? He's an average quarterback at best? And that's not a knock on Teddy Bridgewater. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I've always liked him. But that's just the reality of it. I'd say Teddy Bridgewater is mediocre, average at best. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So, Denver just needs to figure out their quarterback situation, man. Ever since Peyton, they haven't been able to figure it out. You know, they had Trevor Siemian. That was terrible. You know, who else they had? Obviously, they had Drew Lock the last couple of years. They had Bridgewater now. I'm trying to think who was after Trevor Siemian. Who was after Trevor Siemian? Let me look that up, actually. I can't remember who their quarterback was after 2016. Who was it? It wasn't Paxton Lynch. He was a disaster. Osweiler was gone. Let me see. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to look this up. Let's see. Who was the quarterback? I don't think it was Siemian again, 2017. Was it Siemian in 2017? Let me see. Give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. Okay, I guess it was Siemian again in 2017. All right, let me look at 2018. Because it was Drew Lock. Drew Lock came in 2019. So let me see. 2018. No, wasn't it Case Keenum? Wasn't Case Keenum the starter in 2018? I think so. I think Case Keenum was the starter in 2018. Kevin Hogan. Yeah, Case Keenum. Case Keenum was a starter. Okay, so there you go. And then Joe Flacco came in. And there you go. So Siemian was a starter 2 years after Peyton Manning. He was a disaster. He not good. 2018 was Case Keenum. Coming off that year with the Vikings. Didn't work out. 2019, Drew Lock was drafted. Joe Flacco came in. Flacco started. Lock came in as well. Lock started last year. Now Teddy Bridgewater. So they haven't been able to figure it out. Now, will they? Now, this is why I was very surprised they didn't go quarterback this year. I don't know why they didn't take Justin Fields. I really didn't. I thought before the draft, I was thinking Justin Fields is a home run for Denver at number 9. They went Patrick Surtain. Yes, he has a very high ceiling as a corner. But I feel like a guy like Justin Fields, who has the potential to possibly be your guy, I didn't really get the pass up on that. Still, I think going forward, I think within probably the next 3 or 4 years, I think Denver's going to look back on that draft and say, you know what, we should have took Justin Fields. But I definitely think Denver's primed to take a quarterback in the draft in the first round. They have to. They have to. Teddy Bridgewater is in the future, obviously. Teddy Bridgewater's not a franchise quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a journeyman quarterback. He can start if need be, as he is this year, as he did with Carolina. He's been a backup, and that's what he's going to be going forward. So after this year with Denver, depending how he plays, maybe he'll come back to Denver, compete again for the quarterback spot. If things don't go well, you know, he'll probably find himself as a backup on another team. That's what Teddy Bridgewater is right now. I think he's like that in that Ryan Fitzpatrick-esque kind of tier. So Denver, they have promise, but I think they really have to get that quarterback spot figured out because, quite frankly, I just don't see, I don't see Teddy Bridgewater elevating this team to a 10 or more win team. I don't. I think Denver's defense, my allergies. I think Denver's defense is good enough to help them win, a little bit more games than they won last year. I think their skill position players will help Teddy Bridgewater because, Teddy Bridgewater, I think, has better skill position players than he did last year. McCaffrey was injured pretty much all last year. Really, outside of a DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, I think Denver's more suited. I think Denver's more suited for Bridgewater to have success than he did last year. But still, I don't see Teddy Bridgewater elevating Denver. I don't see him winning, double-digit games for them. I don't. I just don't think he's that kind of level of quarterback at this stage in his career that's going to do that. So I still think Denver's around a 7 or 8 win team. I think they'll probably, as long as they're healthy, they might be a little bit better than last year. But that's how I see it personally. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you agree. I don't know. Let me know. Now, speaking of, still in the trend of the NFL right now, man, this is a massive blow. If you're a Ravens fan, this is a massive blow. If you had them on your fantasy team, massive blow. J.K. Dobbins, last night's preseason game, he went down with a knee injury. It is being expected. It has been said that the team fears and is assuming that this is a season-ending knee injury. Now, I never wish injuries on anybody, so I hope the best for J.K. Dobbins and things can come out in a positive light for him coming out of whenever he has his MRI. But this is a massive blow. J.K. Dobbins last year I think he had a nice rookie year, especially for the situation he was in. Now with Mark Ingram gone, J.K. Dobbins was supposed to be the lead guy in the best rushing attack offense in the NFL, and now you don't have that. What does this mean for the Baltimore Ravens? What does this mean for the Baltimore Ravens? Quite frank, again, J.K. Dobbins was definitely primed. I think a lot of people, including myself, thought that Dobbins was definitely primed to be probably a 1,000-yard rusher this year, be a very effective piece in that Ravens offense. I don't think that this is a make or break for the Ravens offense. Yes, I think it's a major blow because they were going to rely heavily on him. But Gus Edwards isn't a slouch either. Gus Edwards has shown that he can be a reliable running back, especially in that system. I'm assuming they'll probably go out and bring somebody else in. We know they've brought in Todd Gurley before in regards of a visit. There's some guys out there they can make a move for. Benny Snell. But it definitely does suck, man. J.K. Dobbins was primed for a good year and was primed to have a lot of success in that rushing attack for Baltimore on the offense this year. And there you go, the last preseason game. This is why I hate preseason, man. I understand why they have it. It is good for the players to get acclimated and get you know what I mean? It's different being in shape and in football shape, and we see that usually through the first quarter of the season every year, you know what I mean? But it sucks with preseason. This is why I am glad they limited the preseason. I wish it was 2. I think 2 games is probably that hot spot, but 3, whatever. But it sucks. It's the last game of the preseason. I understand Ravens fans. That's definitely a huge disappointment. But I still think even without him, the Ravens will still have a productive offense in the rushing category. I think Gus Edwards has shown over the last 2 years that he can definitely be a reliable guy aside Lamar Jackson trying in their rushing game. But they're definitely going to need to bring somebody in, and there's some names out there that they can go out and do. There's a couple guys on the market. You know, there's some secondary tier guys, you know, on teams in the running back spot that they can probably make a move for. I don't know, but that's a big blow. And, you know, I know people who draft him in fantasy are definitely hurting right now, but that's why you don't draft until after the preseason's over, my friends. That's why. FYI. I actually have my fantasy draft tonight, so I'll see everybody there. But yeah, big blow for the Ravens. It is a big blow. It is a big deal. But I don't think it's just gonna take their rushing attack from here all the way down to here. You know, I mean they've been so successful with that for the last 3-4 years now. And like I said, Gus Edwards, you know, this is his time now. This is his opportunity to show that he can be a highly regarded running back, and they'll bring somebody else in aside from him. So that's kind of the situation with the Ravens. Next week, what I'm going to do, just an FYI, I've been waiting to do this. I'm actually kind of excited to do this. Sorry, my allergies just keep messing with me. What I've been kind of excited and looking forward to do, my nose is really itchy, was after the preseason was over, what I was going to do, next week, I'm going to do this just for the Steelers, and then the next day, Sunday, I'm going to go team by team. We're going to go division by division, team by team, and we're going to look at the outlook of the team. We're going to look at their schedule. We're going to break it down. This isn't just going to be blind predictions. This isn't going to be blind statements, blind opinions. That isn't even an opinion because there's nothing to support it or back it off. We see that all the time on social media. I'm going to go team by team, division by division. We're going to look at the outlook of each team, what we could see their ceiling, what we could see their floor be this year, what we think they'll do this year, and we're going to look at their schedule, and we're going to break it down. Now, it'll probably be a longer show. It'll probably be an hour, a little bit over an hour. But I wanted to do it and actually put the time in to do that. So we're going to be doing that next Sunday. That's going to be next Sunday's show. That's it. So just an FYI, there isn't going to be any talk on college football next Sunday. There isn't going to be any talk on anything else. It's going to be strictly that. Now, if there's other things aside from that I want to talk about, I'll do a separate show on it. College football, MLB, you know what I mean? Baseball, basketball, whatever it is, I'll do a separate show on it. But that's going to be the show. That's the shows next week. So a little heads up going into next week. Saturday, it's going to be the Steelers breakdown, the outlook of the whole team, what we can expect from them this year, people we're looking at, how successful they're going to be, things like that. And then the next day, Sunday, we're going to be doing it with every team. So I'm actually excited to do that. I think that'll actually be kind of fun, interesting. But we're going to transition out of NFL right now. Actually, real quick before I do that, since this is the last week of preseason, actually, let me go over that real quick. So Saturday we had, did we have games Friday? Did we have games Friday? Yeah, we did have games Friday. Why isn't it on here? Hold on. I have it here, but they're not showing the Friday game, so hold on. Okay, here we go. Now we have it up. The heck? Okay, that's not it. Oh my god. Alright, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Alright. So Friday, we had the Colts taking on the Lions. The Colts won 27-17. Now again, this is preseason, so I'm not gonna break down the games and things like that or anything. Nobody really cares. This is the last week of the preseason. I'm just gonna kind of go over the scores, and if there's anything that might stick out, I'll talk about it. Colts beat the Lions 27-17. Carson Wentz should be full go. Now, the Colts left tackle today, it was actually reported he just tore out his knee, so he's out for the year, so that's an unfortunate situation because we know Anthony Costanzo, or whatever, is not, right? I don't think he's there anymore. I'm pretty sure he retired, didn't he? Hold on. I'm pretty sure he retired. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played his whole tenure with the Colts. Yeah, he retired this offseason. So, all right. So they're left tackle. So they're hurting right now at that position. So Colts defeat the Lions 27-17. Steelers just got blown out by Carolina. Now, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, so I'm not really going to go into it right now. 34-9. They got absolutely demolished. Jets and Eagles, they tied 31-31. Now, this was actually interesting because the Eagles... Was it the Eagles? The Eagles had the lead, I believe, and the Jets freaking threw it down the field and caught it. I believe it was the Jets, right? Wasn't it the Jets, or maybe it was the Eagles that did it? I saw it on Twitter. Let me see. Yeah. Yep. The Eagles were up 31 to, what was it? Yeah, 31 to what, 24? And the Jets just threw a bomb for 49 yards, and it was caught in the end zone for a touchdown. And the Jets, with 0 seconds left, tied the game. And that game finished in a tie. KC defeats the Vikings 28-25. The Cardinals and Saints game got postponed simply because of, I believe it got postponed because of the storms. And especially with what's happening right now in Louisiana, you know, the hurricane situation and everything, I believe that's why it got postponed. Bills defeat Green Bay 19-0. Ravens absolutely destroyed Washington 37-3. They've won 20 straight preseason games, so I think we know who their backup quarterback is. Let me pull up his stats real quick because he had a really good game. Hold on. Yeah, Tyler Huntley, 285 for 4 TDs, 24 for 33. That's very impressive, I think. So the Ravens definitely have, it looks like, a upgrade over RG3 as the backup. So there you go. Like I said, I'm not going to break down these games. It's the last preseason game. Nobody cares. I really don't care. like I said, if there's just something that sticks out, I'll talk about it. Bears defeat the Titans 27-24. Justin Fields had a really beautiful pass. He was going out to his right side, bullet pass right in the end zone over 2 defenders for a touchdown. He'll definitely be playing sooner than later. Tampa Bay 23-16 over Texans. Broncos 17-12 over Rams. 27-0 Seahawks over the Chargers. And today so far we got Jax 17-7. Trevor Lawrence had a really nice pass down the field. Jacksonville 17-7. But here's the thing with Jacksonville, man. Urban Meyer is in some deep water right now. Well, not deep water, but it's very concerning. I've said this when Urban Meyer got hired. I give him 2 years at the most. A lot of times, man, I feel like more times than not, these college football coaches that are so successful in college and they try to transition their system and what they do in the NFL, it doesn't work, man. It's a different game. And there's already players that are kind of fed up and annoyed with Urban Meyer, and you already have that body language there, that chemistry that isn't adding up. There's already, Urban Meyer's already, you know what I mean? He's already just going through a difficult time right now as the head coach, and I just think him and the players are not on the same page right now. So that's got to change. But like I said, I didn't give Urban Meyer a lot of time here. I didn't think he was going to have a whole lot of time in regards of his tenure with Jacksonville. So we'll see what happens out of that. Miami and Bengals, they're playing at 4 o'clock, so they haven't started yet. We got the Raiders and Niners, 4 o'clock. I'm assuming we'll probably see Jimmy G and Trey Lance that game. New England Giants, 6 o'clock, and we got Cleveland and Falcons to wrap up the final week of the preseason, thank God, at 8 o'clock Eastern. So there you go. That's your NFL preseason right there of what happened and what is still to come in the preseason. Can't wait till it's over. Okay, so I'm going to transition into, let me see here. So college football started this past week, which is definitely really exciting. A lot of the teams like Ohio State, Alabama, these top AP top 25 teams, stuff like that, they're not playing yet. These are obviously the guys playing, are kind of more lower tier teams. Now, here's the thing with college football. Be quite honest with you guys. I have never really been a big college football guy. I don't have a personal favorite college football team. I mean, if Pitt does well, great. For college basketball, I love Duke. Duke's my team for college basketball. Other than that, I'm all Pittsburgh. But I've never been a big college football guy. If there's an interesting game on, I'll tune in. If there's an interesting playoff game on, I'll tune in. Or a bowl game, sure. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I would kind of, be acclimated with some of the more well-known guys, throughout the years of, being a football fan. But I just never was all that emotionally invested in college football. And I'm still really not. As I've gotten older, I decided to kind of pay even more attention and things like that. Now, after college football season, I would really get acclimated with a lot of the top prospects and try to kind of know more about them and learn more about them. But as I got older, I do watch it a little bit more than I used to. And I do kind of follow it a little bit more than I used to, but still, even at this point in time, I'm just not emotionally invested in college football like a lot of other people are. But since I have this podcast and show, I am going to talk college football on this channel. Whoops, I accidentally hit the camera, sorry. I am going to talk college football on this channel. I am going to go over, as we talk about football on Monday, I am going to go over things in college football. Now, it might not be as descript, it might not be as invested as the NFL in regards of what I go over, what I talk about, but I'll just kind of, I'll be talking about things that are worth talking about, really, you know what I'm saying, and things that have a lot of interest in regards to what's going on. But I'm going to go over the AP Top 25. I'm sure you guys probably already know this. So, obviously, Alabama, Oklahoma, which, in case you guys didn't know, I actually went to high school with Spencer Rattler. He was our high school quarterback. He was a sophomore when, let me see. He was a freshman when I was a junior, and then he was a sophomore when I was a senior. So, pretty cool. He's, I believe last time I looked, he was the number 1 rated prospect. Clemson at 3, Ohio State comes in at 4, Georgia at 5, A&M 6, Iowa State 7, Cincinnati 8, Desmond Ryder. We'll see what he does this year. He's supposed to be a projected first-round pick. We'll see how much he impresses and things like that. So I've heard some good things about him. Notre Dame, Sam Howell and Carolina, number 10. Oregon, 11. Wisconsin, 12. Florida, 13. Miami, 14. USC, 15. LSU, 16. Indiana, 17. Iowa, 18. Penn State, not a fan, 19. Washington, 20. Texas, 21. Coastal Carolina, 22. Honestly, I feel like this is the first time I've seen Coastal Carolina ever ranked. Now, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe there was a point in time were they even ranked last year? And honestly, guys, with the COVID situation, I didn't really pay attention to any college last year, any college basketball, football. I simply didn't care. Let me see. AP Top 25, 2020 college football. I'm interested. Were they ranked last year? Because like I said, I was not invested at all in college sports last year. So I simply just didn't care. So let me see. Louisiana Lafayette. Let's see. Okay, so this was preseason of 2020 before the season started. So let's see. Tennessee was 25. Iowa State. Because I'm interested with Coastal Carolina because I don't ever remember seeing them being a ranked team. Now, you guys can let me know in the comments when the last time they were ranked, if it was more recent. Yeah. So, I mean, that is pretty cool to see a team like that who is nowhere near the levels of even the people ahead of them, a Texas, Penn State, LSU, USC. They're nowhere near that. But good for them that they have a great program this year. Great for them. Louisiana 23, Utah 24, and ASU comes in at 25. So good on ASU and everything that they're doing trying to... Whoops, I hit it again. Sorry. My knee. ASU coming at 25, so good on them getting back into the AP. I still believe it's a couple years until they're expanding the playoffs and everything like that. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Honestly, when that news came out, I actually did kind of like it. I think there's pros and cons to it, just as there's pros and cons to the 4-team playoff. I'm not really going to get into that right now. I think that's a topic for another day. But that's your AP Top 25 right now. None of these teams have played. None of these top-tier teams have played yet. So, really what we've had over the weekend and earlier into the week, we've had more of, obviously, it's your D1 schools and everything like that. I'm not saying these guys are slouches or anything like that. But, just none of the teams that are really going to be making noise this year. So, Thursday, I believe Tuesday is Ohio State's first game. Penn State, Wisconsin next Saturday. That's interesting. So really next week, I feel like the really big week. Next week's really like the big week of really that kickoff of college football with, these top 25 teams and even teams that are, a little bit below 25 that are going to be working their way into it throughout the year. So that's pretty good. But yeah, we've had it. So it's great, seeing college football start this week. Stadiums are full. It's amazing. You love to see it. But, all the games happening have just kind of been, teams that really aren't going to work their way into the ranks this year. But that's okay. I mean, there's still, you still got your quality teams and teams that can still have success this year and things like that. But I haven't watched it. I haven't had time. But going into next week and next week's show, I take that back. Going into next week, and like I said, with next week's show, what we're doing, we'll put out some college football content, so stay out for that. Also, the New York Yankees, man. The New York Yankees, I've mentioned this last week. The New York Yankees are getting hot at the right time. They've won 13 in a row, but that ended yesterday, last night. The A's defeated them, and so This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what you want going to the playoffs. I was pretty critical of the Yankees throughout the year. I was pretty critical of them going into before this month. I was critical because of all the talent they've had and the talent they grouped up, and they just weren't having that success. And it was all throughout the year. It's not that they were, they were slow to really get things going. early on at the start of the year, but really throughout, really up to the trade deadline, they just were average, possibly, they were outside of the playoff picture. So as a Yankees fan, this is great. This is what you want, and I'm very confident the Yankees that they can, at this point in time, you're playing great baseball at the right time. You're playing the best baseball in the MLB this month at the right time, and that's what you want. That's what you want more than anything, because we only got one more month to go in the MLB season. You guys keep hearing the doorbell. The freaking guy won't go away. Whoever the heck it is, I don't know. Not answering it. Don't care. Yankees, this is the right time for them. And with how they're playing, how they're hitting the ball, how really the rotation has been panning out. Now, they've had some key injuries, too. Don't get me wrong. And some of those guys are back now. Like Rizzo, he's back. I believe Chapman's still out. Zach Britton just went out. Garrett Cole's back. They've had some key injuries. But this is, if you're Aaron Boone, you're doing, and just the team as a whole in New York, this is what you want. This is what you want. And now Tampa Bay has a big lead in that AL East division by 5 games. They're just playing really good baseball. So they're obviously highly favored to win that. But if the Yankees even get in as a wild card, you win that wild card series, you win that round, you get in. The Yankees, I think, are the most dangerous team as we're speaking right now, because we look at the White Sox. I love the White Sox this year. I really do. I think the White Sox will at least get to the NLCS. Tampa Bay's playing great baseball. Houston's a lock probably to win that division. Well, I wouldn't want to say a lock. Oakland's still there. But you got Houston, then you got the Yankees, and then you got teams like the Red Sox and the A's that are really battling out for that wild card. Toronto, they're not going to get in. Even though they're going to have a successful year and a good record, they've played good baseball. But it's just not there. In the NL, you have the Giants. The Giants have really been the best team in baseball record-wise all year. It's been impressive. They've clicked really well. Adding Chris Bryant was definitely a big addition. And then you also have a team like the Dodgers who are just stacked all around too. Knowing the Dodgers, a lot of times they fail expectations. We know they've won the World Series, but there's no excuse for the Dodgers either. I mean, there never is either year. But the Dodgers, when you look at the NL side, it's hard to see all these teams compete with the Dodgers, especially in a 7-game series, and when you're going to be seeing Scherzer and Buehler and Kershaw every other night. I mean, that's hard to see. That's hard to compete with. So I before the year started, I really thought the Yankees were going to make a World Series push, and they definitely can at this point in time, no question. But you got the Giants, you got the Dodgers who are still there. They still can win that division, but a wild card's looking likely. The Brewers have been a big surprise, I think. I'm not saying they were a surprise. It's a surprise they're winning the division, but I think with how well they're playing and how well they've played over there and how well their pitching rotation's been, definitely a surprise. So the Brewers there. Cincinnati is still in that other wild card spot. Padres are still trying to fight in. And then we also have Atlanta. We thought once Acuna went down, Atlanta was done, but Atlanta's still stocked at the trade deadline. They bought, and they're playing phenomenal baseball. Aside from the Yankees, they're definitely the hottest team in baseball right now. So you got Atlanta. Philadelphia's been struggling. The Mets have just been a major drop-off. I really think what we're looking at in these playoffs, I really like the White Sox, Yankees, depending how the standings line up. But if we see the White Sox and Yankees in the ALCS and in the NL West, I believe, because the Giants are going to be the number 1 seed. So whoever wins that wild card round is going to play the Giants. So we could see the Giants and Dodgers in that round in the NLDS. But I mean, Atlanta, Milwaukee, I don't see Milwaukee competing with the Giants or the Dodgers. I don't see them on that tier level. Now, they could surprise Atlanta as well. It's just, I feel like it's just hard to see all these teams, other than the Giants and Dodgers, compete with them. Especially because it's different. It's not like this is regular season. You're seeing these guys once every 5 games. In a 7-game series, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be seeing these guys every other night. So, The Yankees are just playing great baseball right now. Aaron Judge is on fire. Everybody from top to bottom, pitching-wise, Garrett Cole, Montgomery's on the mound tonight as they play the A's. They're just playing great baseball, and that's what you want. I think between them, Atlanta, that's what you want. You know what I mean? If you're a team, this is the time. This is the time. And going to the playoffs, with how they're playing, watch out. Watch out. That's all I got to say. Folks, that's going to wrap it up here, though. And in hindsight, episode, I believe this is 31, right? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Let me make sure this is episode 31. I know it is. I can't remember what episode it is. Jeez, I feel so stupid. Episode 31. I was just making sure because I know I put a show out last week, but that I didn't really count that as an episode, that Steelers and Lions recap. That was just kind of a IHS exclusive video. But Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, those are all going to be episodes of the podcast. And then if there's something we ever come out with during the week, that'll be an IHS exclusive. So there you go. But episode 31 is a wrap in the books today, folks. We're going to be back for episode 32 tomorrow. If you're interested in tomorrow's show, like I said, it's Pittsburgh and everything like that. It's our Pittsburgh episode, talking Steelers. We're going to be talking all those things, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, if you're a Steeler fan, you definitely want to tune into that. But again, I thank you all for taking the time out and listening to the podcast today. We're sitting in at 51 minutes, so maybe a little bit longer than I thought, but it wasn't as long as it still isn't as long as what we had last week. We went a little bit, about 10, 15 minutes more, I think, last week. But anyway, always taking the time out of your day, whether it's a Saturday, a Sunday, a Monday, even any time during the week. You guys tune in. It always means a lot to me. I can never say thank you enough. If you guys want to hit subscribe, if you guys want to hit that thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. We're just trying to keep growing the channel, keep reaching more sport fans, have some good sports opinions, debates, talk, things like that. So regardless of who you like, regardless of where you stand here, where you stand there, this is the place for you. We always love good sports talk and discussion. But I hope you all enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments, your guys' thoughts and everything on everything. If there's something maybe I didn't mention, throughout the show that you guys want to talk about, feel free. I always reply back. Facebook, at Insight, you can follow me there. Twitter, Nate_Heintz. Instagram, Nathan_Heintz. You can follow me there. Keep up with all things in the channel. If you guys want to interact with me, I always interact. I always love to interact and talk. But we'll be back here tomorrow for episode 32. And I hope you guys enjoyed this show. And I'm glad that we're back at it this weekend. So looking forward to tomorrow's show, and we will see you then. So tomorrow's show, expect around 3 o'clock, and we'll see you right here for In Hindsight, episode 32 on Monday. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow.